Hey, it's going. Mick from Rock Ape Records here, upstairs 175 Sturt Street in Townsville City in Australia. Today we're going to be doing the glam rock, cock rock, call it what you will, glam metal. Basically, came from the Sunset Strip, basically in the late 80s, mid to late 80s, early 90s. Kind of got killed by grunge. But yeah, I've got two huge piles of records here I'm going to show you from the racks that are pretty much in that category. So yeah, like I said before, www.rockaperecords.com, that's the web store. Most of this stuff will be going on the web store, or it already is on there. So yeah, I'm going to get straight into this. So yeah, I grew up with this stuff. I love glam rock, cock rock, whatever you want to call it, hair metal. Let's start off. This is White Lion with Pride. Love this record. Pretty chill stuff. Warrant. Need I say more? If we're going glam rock, we're going all in. This is Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinking Rich. Fucking awesome album. They were highly underrated, old Warrant, because they basically were only known for this song. And this album was massive when it came out, Warrant, Cherry Pie. But there's so many other good songs on this record, so that's available here at Rock Ape Records. This is the album after Cherry Pie, Dog Eat Dog. So another cool record. And this is their greatest hits, latest and greatest by Warrant. So yeah, check them out. Twisted Sister, Come Out and Play. How cool is that? Look at that. So yeah, I think this is their third or fourth album. But yeah, some of the old ones have a flip top head and Dee Snider's in there, but this is the reissue, so it's just black vinyl. These dudes have just kept the dream alive. This is Steel Panther, on the prowl. This is probably one of the coolest, funniest bands ever, and they are still rocking to this day. And they started it all again in the in the 2000s. So they've brought it back because it's still hugely popular. Steel Panther, balls out. Get your balls out with Steel Panther. This band needs no introduction. This is Kiss with their Unplugged album. Really cool. All-time absolute classic. This is a reissue as well. Kiss Destroyer. This is one of my favourites. Crazy Nights by Kiss. Love this record. Classic. And this is one of their mid-range records, Revenge. After the makeup and all that, they put on the black leather. God gave rock and roll to use on this album, so can't be too bad. Hotter Than Hell. This is an old Kiss record. Absolute classic. Psycho Circus. This was from around late 90s, 2000s when they did one of their farewell tours. And yeah, great record, this one. It actually kicks ass. So, love Psycho Circus. These dudes need no introduction. Guns N' Roses. Use Your Illusion 1. It's always been a big chunky double LP, so got Use Your Illusion 1, Use Your Illusion 2. I went and saw this tour in Sydney. They were with Skid Row, Rose Tattoo, and Pearls and Swine. There was 100,000 people there. It was nuts. Love the Gunners. All-time classic. This was probably the biggest rock album that had come out since Led Zeppelin. This came out in 1987. So, Appetite for Destruction. Absolute timeless classic. Patient. That's not Patience. It doesn't have Patience on it. That's GNR Lies. Welcome to the Jungle. Night Train. It's So Easy. Sweet Child of Mine. Rocket Queen. Rocket Queen's probably one of my favourite Guns N' Roses songs. And they've brought a greatest hits compilation out too. So yeah, I'm just banging through these because I've got so many. I've got such a big range of hard rock at Rock 8 Records. Def Leppard. Euphoria. Nice. Def Leppard. Adrenalize. This was in the early 90s this came out. I remember they toured Australia for this album. This is really old school. Def Leppard, On Through the Night. This even sounds like AC/DC in some parts. Love it. This is one of their later albums. I think it's a compilation. Retrospective. I don't know if it's a greatest hits or live or what. I haven't really done my research on that, but I've got it here. This is one of the biggest selling albums of all time, Def Leppard, Hysteria. So yeah, always got to have a copy of this in at Rock 8. This is another one of their old ones, High and Dry. Awesome record. Awesome record. If you've never heard old Def Leppard, give them a listen. Black Veil Brides. I don't even know what this one's called. Boom, boom. It's self-titled by the looks of it. So yeah, they like wearing black makeup and eyeliner, so they went in here. You're going to do that, you go in this pile. Same as these guys. These guys could be in this category, especially with this album, Black Crowes, Shake Your Money Maker. So they sort of went more bluesy and cruisy on their later albums, these ones, but I still put them in this category because they're wearing scarves and makeup and all that jazz. So, and Amorica. Awesome record. Awesome record. Bon Jovi, New Jersey. Bad Medicine. These guys are from England, so it's weird that they've gotten into this category, but the Cult were absolute cock rock back in the day. This is hair metal at its finest. Electric, great album. These guys just never got the credit they should have. Cult are awesome. Love Billy Duffy, Ian Osprey. Ian Osprey's one of the best frontmen ever. Ever. So yeah, this is their first album, I think, or their second album. Love. Really good. These dudes also bucked the trend. Cinderella. This is Long Cold Winter. Because these guys were from Texas. So they weren't from LA or that, but they ended up becoming part of the glam scene and one of the biggest bands as well. And this is their first album, Night Songs. These songs are just timeless classics. Love it. Cinderella. From Texas. And these guys are from England, The Darkness. And they sort of continued the vein around the same time as Steel Panther. So there are bands that are still big because that genre of music is still huge. So these guys got massive. And this album had, I'm pretty sure this is the one that had, what is it? I believe in a thing called love, just as it in the sound of my heart. That's on that one. So yeah. I don't know if this bloke belongs in there, but he's in there anyway. Dio, Holy Diver. Because I know when I was listening to all this stuff when I was a teenager, I was listening to Dio as well. They had big hair, so Dio's going in here as well. That was Sacred Heart, that one. This is Dream Evil. Holy Diver was the first one I showed you. I'm just motoring through these, because if I don't, I'm going to keep yous forever. Last in Line. Beautiful. I'm just moving me piles up. So many. Sorry for moving me piles in front of you. Wasp. Inside the Electric Circus. Absolute classic. The Headless Children. This was sort of later in the piece, this one. I think it was a concept album, I'm not sure. Still really good. And this is definitely a later one, Eldorado. But they still have all their elements. Wasp. And First Blood, Last Cuts. By Wasp, which is greatest hits, basically. A Wasp for greatest hits. What do we got next? Oh my god. Whitesnake, 1987. This is the 30th anniversary edition. So it's got heaps of extra tracks on it. It's a really chunky double vinyl. David Coverdale. Awesome. Love Whitesnake. What was he? He was in Deep Purple as well. So there you go. Van Halen. Needs no introduction. It's got Eruption on it. And this is Van Halen too. So there you go. This is David Lee Roth era Van Halen. Velvet Revolver made it onto the pile. Scott Weiland and pretty much the guys from Guns N' Roses. And yeah, it has that vein. It has that same vein. Scorpions with Acoustica. The Germans doing acoustic tracks. Love the Scorps. This dude needs no introduction. Ozzy Osbourne. No More Tears. Boom boom. 1989, 1990 that came out. I remember I had it on CD. This is his latest album, Patient Number 9. Old Oz is still kicking. No one knows how. And he's got so many awesome guest artists on this album. So many. Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton, Taylor Hawkins, Tony Iommi. This is a cracker. This is a really great album. If you haven't heard Ozzy Osbourne Patient Number 9, give it a listen. And this is Ordinary Man, which is, I think, the album before that one. On this album, every song he sings about dying. and he just didn't die. So, and this is probably one of my favourite Aussie records ever, and it's just been reissued last year, early last year. Bark at the Moon. I love this record. This is from about 1984, I think. Awesome record. Good old Poison with Flesh and Blood. So this came out after Open Up and Say Ah, and this one's on transparent sea glass green vinyl. So there you go, Flesh and Blood. It's got Unskinny Bop on it. Unskinny Bop! LA Guns, this is one of their later albums. They are still going. So LA Guns have been going since the early 80s, and they are still going. These records still kick ass. Check out LA Guns on Spotify. You'll be surprised. They're still kicking ass. So yeah. And this is LA Guns, but this is the drummer. So the drummer, Steve Riley, he took off one way with LA Guns, kept the name. Tracy Guns and Phil Lewis, his lead singer and guitarist, they were doing a version of LA Guns. This is the other version of LA Guns. This is actually an awesome album. You'd think that it'd be shit or something, but it's not. And this guy died, unfortunately, last year. So R.I.P. Steve Riley. He was the original drummer from LA Guns, and he did a version of LA Guns. He kept the name as well, so it's really weird. There's like 2 LA Guns going. Not anymore. There's only one. This is Mick Mars from Motley Crue. This is his solo album, The Other Side of Mars. So yeah, I like it. He's got a, you know, obviously hasn't got, he just plays guitar. He doesn't sing or anything. And he's got a singer, I forget the name of the singer, but this is a solid album. So yeah, give it a listen. Because Motley Crue replaced him with John 5 now, so, which is still pretty cool, I reckon. Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil. This is the 40th anniversary on red vinyl. Love this album. Too Young to Fall in Love, Looks to Kill. Can't go past a bit of Motley. And this is old school Motley Crue. Too Fast for Love. That's Vince Neil's crotch there. Very well used. And that's the lads' first album, Motley Crue, Too Fast for Love. I don't have too much Motley Crue, I keep selling out of it. So yeah, that's about it for today. That's all the glam rock I've got. I went through all the racks. I've got a big pile of second-hand glam rock as well. It's probably about this thick, so I'll have to do that another day. And it's some really obscure 80s stuff, so yeah. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, like, all that jazz. And www.rockaperecords.com, and we're at upstairs 175 Sturt Street, so keep on rocking! Thanks a lot, see yous! Oh!